On this week's Louth and Proud Podcast, I have the Brother Podge on. He's a couple of weeks ahead of us in terms of COVID, so he's going to lay down what to expect when we get back training this week. But before we start, I want to just touch on the Sunday game last week, a bit of a reflection on it. Very, very, very fucking depressing, to be honest. The collage and the whole emotions around it was just depressing. Just really, really haunted me, brought me back to that brutal day 10 years ago. Well, not even 10 years ago yet, but I think I'm going to do a podcast on it, on the actual, to mark the actual anniversary of it. Just the actual impact of the Joe Sheridan goal earthquaked on us. Just, yeah. And then in terms of Joanne Cantwell and Fitzer and Joe Sheridan, I think if you leave anything out for Joanne Cantwell at all, she's like a Rottweiler. She'll just chew on it and jump on it straight away. So Fitzer said a few things about the referee from another province and umpires as well, and Joanne just lit on that, and I just didn't give him a chance back to talk about it. And Joe just comes in and plays the perfect victim card, talks about the golden Sean Boylan being attacked, and brings up letters he got, like, it's his war against everyone else's, like, in terms of getting letters and all that. I don't know, it was over-egged, it was well played. I don't think Louth has anything to gain from those types of situations. We don't really want pity. We know it's horrible. We know we can't turn back the time. We know the way it was handled after was terrible. So yeah, it's awkward. So maybe now that's the time now to put it to bed, and going forward, never ever speak for it again, and just look forward to getting new things, building a new stadium, and going ahead and building a new future, and mark that as the low point, and maybe we'd never be back at that such low, sad state again in terms of the football field. So I just want to touch on that. Then just another bit of news: the relegation from the league is could be still on the cards. I know we're all but relegated in the National Football League with Louth. I'm not talking about the league in the county divisions, the club leagues. But it looks like the Great Escape could be still on. It looks like the GA are going to play those two fixtures in October against Down and the other one against Cork. So yeah, we'll be under pressure there. So it's a pity to play them. I'm gonna play the intro music now, and then we get into Podge. I just wanted to get that off my chest. The Sunday game, and then the league for Louth going forward. And that's it. Yeah, right. Here we go. Here's the shortened intro. Another shortened intro again. Thanks again for the feedback. Here we go. Oh, and stay tuned for the new segment at the end of the podcast with the interview with Podge. It's worth tuning in for new segment. Don't know what we call it. Getting the segment together. Right, here we go. Shortened intro.
And here they come. Louth, O'Brien, O'Neill, Conlon, White, Coleman, Bean, Riley, Cunningham, O'Donnell, Lynch, McDonald, Rose, Smith, Flood, and Meehan.
Everyone has their own water bottle, which is fine here, like, because it's not lashing rain or whatever. Yeah, so you throw the boots on just before training and you go straight out, and there's a person just basically as the gate. You go in and it's all hand sanitizer, and you cruise on in and it's away you go. But like, it was funny, like, actually first training session we had was, I don't know whether they over-egged to try and get it sanitized, but the boys had the balls in a big bucket of water to sanitize them and clean them, like, and sure, hit a lovely summer's day, and the balls were like soaked in water, like they were trying to kick a lead ball around the place. Like, but it was good to be back, obviously, at the time.
And what's it like going back? Are you weird going down to training?
Oh, I suppose it is weird, but it's lovely at the time as well, like, just to get out again and start kicking ball with the boys instead of, I suppose, kicking the ball off the wall is great, but you can't really do it when you're playing Aussie rules because it's not. Obviously, the ball doesn't come back to you, like, so it's very difficult to even practice the skills, which I need more than most of the Aussie rules. Kicking the ball off the wall, because you obviously can't do it. So obviously, you'd be kicking the GA one, but it's great being back. Like, even just how often do you have that group of people together, except when the football is on, like, regardless. But yeah, it's good to be down again kicking ball. Like, it's
so that's the social aspect of that the boy is going to feel. That's more than the actual fitness of the skills, is it?
Yeah. Well, even with this, it's more so the skills getting back then
Right.
is
So
great to be
so
at as well. Like it's fitness wise, in that we were kind of doing our own bit anyway, because we were able to meet in groups of 4, and the coach give us different groups so we could take along doing our own training that way.
I'd say a lot of the boys, a lot of the teams around the country, county even, especially Louth, have been given their fitness work to do. Although it's hard to do it on your own, it should nearly keep you ticking over. Like, is there any lads coming back in serious shape? Or
Yeah.
actually, is there any lads coming back in out of shape?
Yeah, it's very different club and county kind of thing as well. Obviously, it's more club, but where we are, like, it'd be more the latter than lads coming back fitter. Like, I think as well, like, it was kind of up in the air whether we'd even have a season 2. So I think a lot of boys were like, just whatever, like, and just didn't even partake in any of the sessions that we did do, and we got put in the groups of 4. But you've both ends of the spectrum too. You know, you have lads that are always keen, and then lads that are kind of like could take it or leave it. Like,
but like you catch up fairly quickly. Like,
yeah, well, if you want to put the effort in, you will. Yeah, especially here, like, it's a lot easier to get out and run when the sun is on your back. You know, it's lovely. Like, you know, it's easy. Even run, you can run along the yard. Like, it's just magic. Like, so anyone who wants to get back in and get fit, it's take you 2 or 3 weeks and you're back into it.
and is there dates for games?
Yeah, we're starting Friday a week, so the 3rd of July is our first game actually of the year, which is all exciting. Like,
yeah, we're the same. That we actually have, like, in Louth now, we have a date, and even magically as well, we have actually fixtures all laid out in front of us. We know our championship games, we know our league games. Everything is one sweet block. Although even they changed the time earlier, I presume they're going to stick. They are going to stick with those dates. That makes it just sweeter. Like, and it also means you have a proper training block to get in before you go back.
yeah, like that's what I found here with us. Like, because we went back training not knowing if we were going to use I suppose it's good the way you have gone back and you have a date back for when you're starting back, because we went back and we didn't have a date, so didn't know if we were training for no reason or we were training for something, because and it's funny, as soon as we got the date here, just seen the floodgates open where everyone was back and everyone was keen. Like, even like you have them. You'd be the same at home. Like, I think every club nearly has them fair weather players who might play soccer or play whatever, rugby maybe, and that's not really going on. So they're all back then, and they're all keen, and they're all mad to play. Like,
So you've seen
usually them kind of fair weather players are usually like some of the best players you've got. Like,
okay, so you've seen the numbers actually go up.
yeah, for us anyway. Like, you just have, especially it's been off for so long and it hasn't been on the telly, so everyone's mad to get involved again. Like,
because I was saying that to Jamie Murray there a couple of weeks ago, that there will be lads coming out. Aidan Carter will come back out of retirement now just to get it done. Yeah. But everyone will. Like, is there any lads that didn't come back? Like, just won't risk it?
Not for them reasons anyway. Not for them reasons at all that I know of. Like, it's funny, like, because we have that date, and obviously because all the restrictions with travel and whatnot. Like, I was talking to the coach the other day, and I was asking the availability, like, of who's available, who's not available. And he pretty much said to me that everybody's available for the first game, which is like, it's unheard of, like, because there's always someone away on holidays or working or whatever, all of the above. And it just happens that everyone seems to be available, obviously, now. Like, so it's going to be tough to get into the actual team.
Oh, no way, yeah. Competition for places.
Yeah, which is brilliant too. Like,
that's actually, now you say that, like, I'd be thinking there now of who's this going to suit, like, in Louth, like, in the championship, who's going to, like, maybe come out of the COVID really well. And I was thinking the Pats might come out of the COVID fairly well with this is when there was no season, with Paddy Keenan away. And you think, oh, look, that's a year without Paddy. But then you think then there could be other lads, the other teams there that might have lads coming out of retirement, like you're saying, every man, woman and child will be coming back out to play.
But I even think them more like the towny teams, like with that would have more soccer players than
Yeah, yeah.
anyone else. Like, because them boys will be. Gaelic's obviously it's the first thing back home, isn't it? There's
I think so.
no soccer back
I'm not
yet.
too sure of the local leagues. What was it, the Meaden District League? It's probably not even called that.
Yeah,
But I'm not too sure. But I wouldn't say they'd be under as much pressure. They did switch to Summer League last summer, and it still meant though that the Gaelic lads picked Gaelic over soccer. I remember Billy Smith, very good soccer player, big local league soccer player, but he did play with the Clans when it came down to the crunch. So
yeah,
it might
right,
be a bit of
okay.
effect. But I'd say just on the opposite of that, I'd say there will be lads that won't play because it's a little bit, maybe, I don't know, it's a little more serious in Ireland more so than where you are in Australia. But I'd say players won't risk it. Like, I don't know what the frontline lads are going to do. Well, we've no doctors in our team, but like, I'm sure some players do, some teams do, and then there's like nurses, and then there's like people who work in administration in hospitals or porters, and then you have guards as well. Like Jimmy Murray's a guard. I must ask him, and there's other guards all over. Like
Yeah,
every team has a guard on it.
but
What are they going to do?
it's very different at home though, even compared to here. Like in that context, that like so where we are here, like we're not in the city, which is good. So we're fairly isolated out rural Australia. Like you think. Like even we're playing footy, we've one team in the town we're in. The next town is a 2.5 hour drive, and there's two teams there, and then there's two teams in between that then as well. Like so, but all where we are, there has been, I think, over the whole time there's been 4 cases of it. So and since then it's been isolated. So we're lucky where we are. Whereas Ireland, you're talking 5 minutes down the road is a village. 5 minutes down the road is a village from that. Like it's not as local as that where we are. So we're really lucky.
Like Dublin's a half hour away, even like
exactly. Like even Drogheda and Dundalk, how close are they? Like and even Navan where we are, very close. Like in terms of cities.
So yeah, I know. I definitely do think there will be players that will. Well, will they feel under pressure, like maybe not to play, but their family under like you could have elderly parents, or you could be still living at home with your mum and dad. So I don't know that maybe they might be left out high and dry by the GA. But then, is it fair on them? Like I don't think that's fair. Like you could have some lads even retiring and saying, no, I'm not playing football this year because I just can't risk it. I think that's unfair. I think the GA are unfair to do that to them.
Yeah, I agree, and it's like even for young lads as well, not even more so the older lads. Like young lads, probably mad to play. Like and if they're gonna take that risk with coming home, whether mammy's a bit older or even granny's living at home with mum and whatever else, like it could be. Like how does a young lad quantify taking a risk like that? Like where I don't know, if I was a young fella, I'd be just keen to play football. Like
no, and you wouldn't care. You don't care showing you're that young. You think you're invincible.
But I was just gonna say that. Yeah, you do think you're invincible because you don't think anything will ever affect you or your family. It'll happen to someone else, though. That's fine. Like, but until that day comes.
But there'll be some crack. You could have lads moving out of home just to play. A whole blast full of players, or lads living homeless just to play football.
Maybe we'll set up bunk beds down in Cullen community, will it?
Honest to God, a big dorm or something. Well, I know Frank Lynch changed his name. He told me last week. He changed his name he didn't change it. The manager changed his name to play for Ollie Lynch. Yeah. And come here, is it weird though? Like, is it full of signage and all that? Is it like the actual training itself? Are you like? I know it's still non-contact.
No.
Are you kind of like?
We're off non-contact, but when it was
non-contact anyway. That's the type of contact.
Yeah. We won't make too much mention of that. But there's not much signage now. It's different here as well because the actual grounds aren't owned by the clubs; it's owned by the councils. But in terms of training, that when we were doing the non-contact, like it's weird. Like obviously the back of drills and that, you're trying to keep your space and that. But it's funny, like you have lads, like I think most clubs have them too. Like like there's lads that are playing and they want to say something, but they don't really have much to say. If you know what I mean, they want to be heard, but they don't really have
Oh
anything to
yeah,
say.
those lads,
We've one lad.
the empty
We've one lad in
boxes.
the club, like one lad in the club that at the end of every drill, and you're waiting in your group to get
Yeah,
to the next drill, and he
right.
always says it. It's always like, "Come on, let's get in tight, like get in tight and listen up." Like it's his thing to say the whole time, like, and it's so funny. Like it's guaranteed he was always saying, and like you nearly look at him and laugh every time because he can't say it now because it
Does
has
he
to be
does
so
he go
funny.
to do it? Like, does he go and stop?
I don't know. I feel like he's on edge that he needs to say it, but he hasn't said it yet.
He needs to hug himself or hug the post or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny,
Oh,
but
that's mad. Yeah, you can see lads in huddle. Some lads love a huddle before a game. They love a
yeah,
squeeze and yeah, get tight, get tight. So now you'll be like going down and you'll be saying, get away from me," and
yeah.
oh Jesus. And then you're actually, this is another aspect of it as well. And you're a perfect candidate. You're injured at the moment, and you're after getting injured during the training. So I'm gonna before you. I know you did a bit of coaching. You told me that the other day. But do you think you come back from like this is a thing that I think Declan Bogue said as well during the week he had a chat with a physio that players are going to come back and you're like even in Championship and Loud you're going to be playing 5 games in 6 weeks. You know, there's going to be a load of injuries, isn't there? And like you got injured. Well, you're always injured, but is it because you just came back too quick?
I don't know. I don't really know why I got injured. We were kind of training all along anyway. Like we were in the groups of four and that, and maybe it was the whole. Obviously, you're not going to train as intensely if you're in a group of four. In terms of if you're having a group of 20, like you're really going to put it in. Like, and maybe that's why I did get injured when we had that load, more of a load and the contact. So you're getting more fatigued and you're wanting to do more because there's a bigger group. That could be a point in, and then when the games start, then with you guys, you can see people getting injured left, right, and centre. But obviously, yeah, I you shorten here the AFL back, and they've reduced the time which is being played.
Oh,
So I don't know if you are
well, I
reducing
don't
the time.
I wouldn't say so, but I've seen with the Premier League they have the proper water breaks, like everyone goes off and takes them. Yeah, I've seen that
Yeah,
on the BBC the other day. So yeah, I think there could be well, there's definitely going to be injuries, and that's another podcast in itself. Like I'm saying, who's going to come out of this well for the championship? Like who has like you could see a team with a big squad winning the championship, or,
well, yeah,
or,
you
or
cannot. The Blues have been honest. They're best team in the county at the moment, and they look to probably have the best squad. I think, by the sound of it too.
yeah, and even you go intermediate as well, and you dip into your reserves there and you win it, or even the junior championship as well. You know, like
Yeah,
yeah, it could be that sort of a way. It could be that detrimental to a team, or you could have a big squad there. Like clearly, have a massive squad. Always do, always will. They could go and win the intermediate on the back of that. Then you look at rural teams, and you know you're on about the tiny teams. You could have rural teams there. You just have 16 players, and then the reserves aren't great at all. Or maybe you could have, I don't know, well, you wouldn't have teams not fielding, but you could have teams struggling, like and it could go both ways. But that'll be that's for another day. I'm going to talk about that again. But
and
what,
even saying that too, then as well is obviously the county's on afterwards. If a county player does get injured,
yeah,
is he going to be pushed? Is his loyalty going to be held in terms of is he going to push himself to play the club games, or is he going to be pushed to hold on and make sure you're right for county time?
yeah, that's a big thing they're on about here at the moment. Like that
Yeah,
we're seeing, there's going to be war between club and county in terms of managers and in terms of players and in terms of club pulling them as well. But like, just when I was just going to ask you about the coaching side of it, is it hard to work out drills? Are you just doing straight line running? You aren't foot pass or anything, are you?
oh well, we were at the time. It's easier to do foot passing drills because you're further away, obviously.
Right. Yeah, but you don't have to. You just sanitize the balls at the start, and then that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, we've no. The hard thing about it is actually with no cones,
All right.
and so you're not allowed. We're not allowed any equipment at all, like nothing,
Oh,
zero. Just footballs. That's it. Like so, trying to set up drills some lads get it straight away, and some of the lads are scratching their head, kind of. So it's kind of like
Some lads
the way you're.
be running like got cut off.
Even some lads you can put out the cones and they're still scratching their head.
Yeah.
But like, it's kind of like what we nearly after a session or two, boys are getting confused and stuff. But the easiest thing I found to do was actually to bring the whiteboard out with you, draw it on the whiteboard, and say cone here, like set up this way, and you name a person that's going to be in each cone who knows, who has a fair idea what's going to go on, and set it up like that, basic as, and
so that's a coaching tip there for all the coaches listening.
Yeah.
Because I don't know actually whether you're allowed to bring down cones or not with us. And are you measuring out distances? Like, is it that kind of awkward routine?
Oh, not really. It's kind of up to yourself.
Does the novelty wear off then after the first session of signing forms and washing hands?
Well, we didn't have any forms or anything like that to fill out. We just sanitized as you go in the gate, like, and away you go, pretty much. Like, there was no forms or anything like that. Like, we didn't have COVID officers like you do back home.
Yeah.
Nothing like that at all. Like, which was quite convenient, more so for us. That didn't have to be done.
But I'd say that wear off, the novelty will wear off that, you know that?
Yeah, possibly. There was by the government over here, they ran an app for the more people that download it, the more restrictions that would be lifted. So it tracks where you are, but it only gets enforced if someone in your circle has COVID-19. So if most people had that, it was quite convenient, but it wasn't asked that we needed it or anything.
Yeah, that's not I haven't even mentioned that, like, what even if a club gets it, like if a player gets it, like, God knows the stigma the lad who gets it would get for wiping out a whole team. And like,
yeah, well,
they're on about the psyche of like the whole community. They need the games back. Imagine the game was called off because a player had it, and then the whole village ends up not looking forward to a game. That could be down the line, but then it is in clusters of 3 and 10, so it should be okay.
Well,
you know.
Well, saying that, it'd be all the better if a game is called off instead of the other way around. Like,
no game on altogether.
Well, if a game is on and someone has it, like, you know what I mean, like, and then to find out after the fact matters, and then you're in a world of hurt. Like, that's when it is difficult. Like,
yeah.
Whereas I know in the AFL here, they're testing the players.
Yeah,
so they're basically. Yeah, they're testing them. I'm pretty sure they're testing them Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and straight away after, whenever the game is, because they're having games right from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Conor McKenna, obviously the Irish fella, has got tested positive for it, so their game was off on the weekend, which is it's good he got it before the game started, because it only came out, their game, I think, was on that.
Yeah, during the day. What happens if you get your game
not during the game? Then it was obviously off. Their game was on at like 5:00 that day, and it was reported at 2:00, I think, and then the game was off, obviously.
And what happens with you if anyone's gets it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think there's any protocols yet on that case, but
it's still kind of. I don't know that there's not a full. It's kind of drip fed.
But we're quite lucky, I suppose, here too, because we're in WA, like, and we actually still have all our borders closed.
Oh, okay, right.
But we haven't had any cases for, I'd say it's 2 weeks now at this stage.
Yeah, I think it's been 10 days since the last case. Which is
really good, like.
Yeah. And I suppose, look, just a couple of things. Thanks for that. Thanks for the kind of the look into the future, especially ahead of the Loud Lads this week. But I've had a few people on with me, Podge. I had a forum out there and forums for feedback and what have you. And a couple of lads that got back to me did like a segment, say at the end or every week, or not at the end of every podcast necessarily, but a segment nearly like every week they have a player on or ask someone like 20 questions or something like true or false or stuff like that. So get your thinking cap on, will you, and give me some.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm not sure, Danny, at all.
Well, there's a couple here, right? I'm gonna fire these at. These are just simple questions. They're not necessarily a segment as yet, but
right, so you put me on the spot.
yeah, fuck it, yeah, I'll put you on the spot. So I was going to say, what Louth player would you most like to poach from another club? But I think probably everyone would say probably Paddy Keenan, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Right, and then so this is a good one to know, right? Who is your best manager you played under?
Geez, yeah, is it quick fire because there's a difference between most successful and best manager.
No, yeah, just go best manager. Yeah, I know. Well, kind of coach and manager, still the kind of same thing here.
Okay. Well, hands down, best coach had to be Sean Kelly. Like, he actually didn't win anything with us when I was there, but they won the intermediate with you guys when you
won the Cardinal O'Donnell, did you not? No.
Oh yes, we did. Yeah, but the pinnacle is obviously the championship at that time. But yeah, it was the first time we ever won the Cardinal O'Donnell, wasn't it?
Yeah. But you had him in school as well.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Yeah, but school is even different. But when he was with us that time, he was brilliant. Like, he just brought us to the next level, like, in terms of training. Just magic. Like, he was a brilliant coach, by far the best coach I've had.
So is he your best manager? If you're saying best coach,
I don't know who the best manager is. Like, most successful manager I've had was Kay Henry.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would regard him as the best manager I've had either. Like, it's very hard to say.
And right, so and then another one here I'll ask you is with kids up there, there's loads. Well, I have loads, but it's not about me. It's just about it's segment thing. But say, right, who's your favourite player to play with?
That's another one as well.
Not your best player, not your most skillful player, but who's your favourite? Like it could be a lad you could have the crack with on the field.
Yeah, I suppose in college, like, I would have played with a lad I ended up living with, was just David Drake. Like, I played wing back and he played wing forward at the time, and he was brilliant, like, on the pitch, like, because he was kind of a wing back himself as well, so he'd always be keen to come back and help out, like.
And what was his nickname to have? What did they call him in the Mayo podcast? What was his nickname? Donald Drake.
I don't know.
Donald Drake.
Donald, that could have been. I don't know.
Yeah. You had a good relationship with him nearly.
Yeah. He's champion of a lad, like, and he even just say something stupid to you at the pitch, like, and he'd just have a good laugh with him like that. Like, he was a really good player too. Like, brilliant player. Like, he could give him any type of ball either, like, and he'd win it for you. Like yeah, really good player. Actually, in college as well, we played with Danny Cummins. He played playing with Galway.
Yeah, Galway. Played against Louth in the league. Yeah,
he was awesome. Like, you could be a half back and you'd have no one to hit the ball to, and he's corner forward, small little fella. Like, he'd lash the ball in top of him, and I don't know what it was about him, but he could win any type of ball. Like, if you're in trouble at all, you could just lure it into him, and he'd fight like a dog for it.
Yeah, he's a powerful lad as well.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, he kick scores all day long as well. Like,
I would probably go defenders actually for mine. You'd have Darry English because, like, he just bail you out of trouble every time, so that'd be a favourite kind of aspect. And then Brenner as well, David Brennan. He was just brilliant, pleasure to play with, and he'd have you in fucking stitches on the field as well. Some of the stuff he'd say to you to get you going and get other people going. Then you've other favourite players, like he'd be like, this actually could be a good segment, like favourite player, because you think they're like Christie.
Darry was brilliant. He was so unassuming, and he just go behind the radar and just, like, clean up for you, basically, like your mother at home cleaning up after you.
Mopping up,
just mop the floor. Like, he let someone slip by and Darry just come across and just cut out the danger. Like, he was brilliant as well, like.
Yeah, and then you had David Reid, like you just when you said that about Danny Cummins, you could throw any ball to him and he'd win it. Like, I can't think of anyone else, but that's a good one. That could be a segment, all right. I'll leave it with you, right? That's your part of the job, right?
Yeah.
No, Podge, thanks, man. Cheers. And don't forget it's Father's Day. Ring the father and wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, sure have.
Or happy Father's Day, not best of luck. Right, dead on. Thanks
and
for that.
champagne already. So.
A couple of announcements to make in the next couple of weeks. Some really exciting news on Louth